and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing. And soccer. San Diego, California. Sandals and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to episode 205. Two balls and a mic. New year, same us, new stuff, old stuff. We're back at it with another episode of Two Balls and the Mic. Let's go. Hasta los gringos.
And even the gringos.
San Diego Football. San Diego.Football is brought to you in part by, guess what, San Diego.Football. That's going to be the website. We're going to go ahead and talk about all these changes that are happening. But New Year also means new stuff for soccer in San Diego. SDFC, what have they been up to? They've been putting some stuff online. There's been talks, there's been discussions. There's going to be a wrap-up of what do we know up until now. A great article that popped up with a soon-to-be collaborator on San Diego.Football. We're also going to go ahead and talk about San Diego Wave and their player updates. Kristen Westphal re-signs for another year, another couple years.
2 years to be exact. Yeah.
2 years to be exact, Chiba. And also going to go ahead and just do general resolutions of what these two teams need to really think about and do starting 2024. Two balls and a mic is also going to be participating in, yet again, the Soccer's halftime celebrity show, celebrity game, celebrity matchup. We already know we're on teams, opposite teams. Chiva's going to try to score me for a third year. And I'm going to tell you exactly why he's going to fail for a third year.
I'll tell you exactly why I'm not.
This is going to be on January 7th at Pechanga Arena. San Diego Soccer's playing a las 5:05. You can find me over there. You can find Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson right now.
I'm sorry you couldn't be there.
You can find him over at Pechanga Arena right now, like literally right now. He's on Raw. I was there last night. I was just walking around, same halls as the big Samoan, the Samoan. But in any case, season's greetings to you, Chiva. We're back.
Season.
Happy
Feliz
año. Your hands are cold. Season's greetings to everybody who's joined us in the chat. We got El Boys, always, Loyal Naku, Ismael, Seasons, Feliz año. Season's greetings by Jeremy right there. Alicia, looking forward to the game on the 7th. We'll see you there. Season's greetings from Hawaii. Esteban Toscano over in Hawaii.
What time is it in Hawaii right now?
It's an hour behind. It's an hour behind California. Then season's greetings. Okay, no spoilers, 609 Soccer. I will watch wrestling after. You're watching us either through YouTube, either through Twitter or X, or through Instagram. Whichever your preference of consumption is, we are there now live streaming every Monday at 8. This is the 205th consecutive episode of Two Balls and a Mic. Puta madre, empezaste.
Empecé. Last episode was a pre-recorded episode.
It was
because the boy was up in Yosemite. How was that for you?
I'm very, very impressed that you can say the word Yosemite as opposed to Yosemite, which I actually called it Yosemite for a while. Because, again, it's phonetically speaking, Yosemite. Yeah, sure. I also didn't make the connection of Yosemite Sam, the guy from the Looney Tunes.
Oh, okay, boys.
What?
You didn't know that?
Yeah, don't crack your fingers on the mic ever again.
I do what I want. I'm about to get muted. Imagine.
I really didn't miss this place at all. Seasons to Nick Duffy. Again, happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back in. Some changes are happening. Are you saying? Last week was pre-recorded because again, I was up in our national park. One of them, very, very strenuous drive through Fresno. Which, by the way,
wait, paraste por tacos? Did you stop by for tacos?
Which, by the way, leads me to my first point, and we're going to get to all the soccer stuff. Let's get settled in, guys. Welcome, everybody. For those of you who haven't made the drive from San Diego, you know that you have to pass through Fresno. We have a lot of friends in the San Diego soccer community who are from Fresno, rep Fresno, or, Elijah Martin, everything Fresno and everything. And so one of the most controversial things that Fresno people kept saying and kept telling us, and we kept hearing because they keep coming up and interacting with us in such a aggressive way, but saying that Fresno tacos are better than San Diego tacos. And look, they swear upon their food, their beliefs, and they believe that Fresno has a superior tacos over San Diego, which I, disagree. I had been there. I'm not necessarily there, taco hunting, but I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to Yosemite for a week, Friday to Friday. It was one of the most transformative experiences that I've ever had. I came back. I didn't even know who I was when I came back. I was so out of it and dazed. Like, man, it was an existential crisis that I had coming back. But on the way, I'm like, all right, well, hey, so-and-so, like, I'm in Fresno, bro. This is your one chance. I'm on my way to Fresno, through Fresno, because, again, through is better than that. Where? This is your shot. I will go try your Fresno tacos. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, okay. I got a few for you. Got some taco trucks. I have this. My personal favorite, and that's the one I'm going to go ahead and listen to, is El Premio Mayor. There's two. There's this, and you can go. I'm like, great. Go over, get some tacos. My companion, my partner, my lady friend was also with me on this road trip, and I'm like, all right, we're going to go ahead and find out. Well, we found out, Chiba. And we found out.
I'm so curious. What?
San Diego has a superior taco. Period.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah. I figured.
Period. They're good. They're good. I can see why people coming up would be like, "Oh, this taco," because it is very homemade. They're good tacos. They're all right.
Tortillas
hechas a mano. It has a little bit of grease on it. The salsas is what people.
So it's a decent taco.
It's a decent taco. It's nothing to scoff at. Like it's good. It gets the job done very well. And again, the thought everybody up there's like, oh, the salsas, you have to put the salsas on. But I'm more of like, if you have to let the salsa carry your taco,
yeah, better salsa, not a better taco.
100%, 100%.
That's curious. That's what
Mr. Elijah Martin and company and Fresnonians. Take the backseat, please. It's a decent taco. All right. I'm sorry for the Fresno hate, which, by the way, I came back with fresh Fresno hate. Like it was no, like the roads, the people. Our people are all right, but like
the people,
the people are fine. Again, you're very underrepresented by a taco, and then the people that I came across at Vaughn's in Fresno, very, we're friendly people. Nope.
No, not friendly.
Nope.
Got it.
Absolutely not. Nope. They also recommended me on the way back. They're like, oh, you gotta stop at the Doghouse and the tri-tip sandwich and it was pretty good. Give them that. They have a good tri-tip at the Doghouse. It's across the street from Fresno State, so it's a puro like college. They have some cool jerseys. They got Lorenzo Neal signed. They got like a Derek Carr, and like it's a pretty cool place. Would I drive the 7.5 hour or so the 6 hour drive to Fresno just for that? Probably not. So it's now my job to educate those people on the tacos that we have here. And you know what, Jeremy, like you're Fresno born and you saw the light. You came out of there. It's un pueblo bicicletero, like, but it's fine. It's part of California, and they're more mad about water usage and some of the politics. And they have ways of making those things known. And yeah, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're bad at all, but there are superior tacos down here. Fresno menudo is good. All right, okay. Look, okay. I think I'm getting. I've struck a nerve with.
Are you a menudo guy?
No,
Really?
No, I don't like the
You
gaminess.
do eat pozole or no?
Yeah, it's not my favorite. I'll eat it. I'll eat it, but it's not like oh man,
Dude, I love pozole. That's my
it's
favorite
fine.
Mexican food.
But yeah, shout out to everybody who said happy birthday, who said Christmas, said Christmas, who said holidays, who had New Year's, and all that good stuff. Before we get into the San Diego FC and San Diego Wave topics, we do want to just kind of address what's going to move on forward from here on out with two balls and a mic. You know, there may or may not have been a cryptic end of an era. It might be the title, depending where you're watching, the end of an era. But it's exactly what it is, right? This is
our last episode.
Our last episode of as two balls and a mic as we know them. It's been a good run. It's been, almost 4 years to when we started the first episode, from when we dropped a preview and really got things going and wanted to have the chance to cover soccer and have the chance to cover it in a way that led us into getting credentials for the World Cup, which that's still the ultimate goal. That's still 2024. We'll have our discussion about goals for next year and what we want at that point. I've seen some people even on Twitter who rep Fresno pretty hard started to come out. Maybe they heard it. But no, essentially, like, it's a new chapter. It's a new day. Yes, it is, for what we have in store for two balls and a mic in general. We're not going anywhere. I'm very prideful about the streak that we have, 205 weeks in a row. But do you want to tell them what's going on, Chiva?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, Two Balls and a Mic will stay as the official name of the podcast, but it'll be under the San Diego Punto Football umbrella, and that's what everything's going to be kind of transitioning into when it comes to even social media handles, stuff like that. It's going to turn into San Diego Punto Football. Two Balls and a Mic will remain as the podcast and content creation, I guess, in a way, for San Diego Punto Football, the main one, but there will be other content creators joining us as well and dropping things under the San Diego Punto Football umbrella. When it comes to writers, I know you've been talking to someone recently as to someone that's also down to start writing for the website, but it's moving forward. We've been kind of hinting and promoting it a little bit, where the website's going to start kicking off, and this is the start for that. It's a new year, new me, same mission type of thing, right?
And that again doesn't mean that the name Two Balls and a Mic is going to go anywhere. This show, this housing, this look, just this when we have guests. Hey, Drew. Hey Drew, like all that good stuff is going to stay. Two Balls and a Mic, this is the name of the show. But when it comes to credentials, when it comes to events, when it comes to, you're saying, the social media handles, when we break news, right, like, and it's also kind of a reflection of what we have to do because of what we're covering, and being intentional of, not everybody thinks it's an innuendo joke, which it happened to be. That wasn't the initial thought of, like, oh, let's make a two balls and I'm like, no, like, we're just two fat guys who will have a microphone in front of them to talk. Like, that's literally it. Now, did it turn into this? Sure. But when we're literally having these stories broken to us and we can relay them into the Twitterverse, or want to go ahead and do something, and it says at Two Balls and a Mic, which is going to be the hard part. It's going to be the interesting part. That's what we're going to need the people who watch, listen, follow, support what Chiva and I do, is really push this next iteration forward of San Diego Punto Football, because we're going to be changing on the actual handles. Two Balls and a Mic will exist somewhere else. It'll still be there, but for the most part, on the Twitter that you follow right now, on the Instagram that you follow right now, on the YouTube channel that you follow right now, more than likely, will change into San Diego Punto Football. And again, that's just a part of that next step. People have been asking of, like, hey, when are we going to go ahead and open availability to support you guys in a different way, maybe even a Patreon or some sort of like that. And so some of those things are coming. They are on the way, and that's part of this rebrand that we want to go ahead and do. But we've started doing it. Like, hey, you've started doing it at Wave pressers. Hey, Alejandro from
Punto
Punto
Fútbol.
Football. I've done it in person too, and just trying to get that name out there because we want to once again be making sure that we are the forefront of soccer in San Diego. Because look, again, we'll go ahead and extend the invitation. Anybody wants to start any type of content creation, any type of writings, photography, anything so has to do with soccer in San Diego, let us know, and we are more than welcome to support and amplify those voices and put them on San Diego Punto Fútbol, right? To be completely transparent and not to necessarily talk about too much of how the sausage is made. Like, we've gotten offers from other places that want to go ahead and do similar things, but it's one of those things where we want to make sure to do our own thing right now with the capacity that we have, our own bandwidth. So,
And to emphasize, this is a definition of San Diego Punto Fútbol, right? The hub of soccer in the greater San Diego region, built for the community to empower local creators inspired by the beautiful game.
Did you read that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I sound like something like that was written, but it was
It's been written.
It's been written in the doc.
That's essentially our mission statement for San Diego Punto Fútbol.
Say it again.
Mission statement for San Diego Punto Fútbol. Ready?
Right.
The hub for soccer in the greater San Diego region, built for the community to empower local creators inspired by the beautiful game.
I love that. And I mean, look, it's the next iteration, the next step of that. And we've been seeing some pushback as well. Like, there's part of last week's episode, which was the award show, that got a little dicey, got a little controversial because of people being like, well, there's not enough representation by the women who support Wave and this and that. This was all a fan nominated, listener, follower nominated, for the most part, except for the ones that we gave out independently, situation, right? So I did like that. What came out of it was that discussion that people were upset that they weren't on it, that people that they know weren't on it, that they believe there should be more categories. And we love that because that's exactly what's going to happen for next year.
Exactly.
That's exactly what type of conversations we need to go ahead and start having. But even like things like this, right? So San Diego Wave graded the result of the fan award voting is a really reflection of the great work that the Sirens have done to create an amazing atmosphere to support the Wave FC. Being a part of this group is one of the best things to happen to me, and excited to see it continue to grow. So that's really what it was about. Grady also gave us kudos just kind of for the commitment and covering soccer in San Diego, which is par for the course. But I really like seeing that camaraderie of people coming out and defending. And even, ¿sabes qué? Even Albion, like, there was discussions there of like, well, why wasn't so-and-so nominated? Because you didn't nominate it. Because we weren't going to go ahead and do that. And again, moving forward, that may change, and we might have to implement our own nominations because of that. So it's a work in progress, but I like the discussion that was being had. Thank you, Esteban, again, over in Hawaii. Mahalo. Nick Duffy, exciting step towards 2026, and that's exactly what it is. This is with the eyes to 2026. Oh no!
Me copiaste.
Oh man!
Me copiaste, güey.
That doesn't mean you should do it.
But yeah, exactly, Nick. It's an exciting step for sure, and it's a step in the right direction.
With that said, that direction is going to go ahead and go right through 2024. This new year, today being the brand new spanking year. Again, hopefully everybody was nice, safe, had a great time.
How was your New Year's?
I was in Mexicali. So like, I drove 9 hours back from Yosemite. And again, it was.
Then you went to Mexicali.
So I came back. I drove 9 hours on my birthday. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Jesus.
How far is the drive to Mexicali?
Jesus, do you mind? Are you telling the story, or am I telling the story?
I'm asking questions.
Are you asking questions for questions that need will be answered after?
I'll wait till the end, Coach.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, so about 9 hours, came back on my birthday, got here, unpacked, talked with my family. They, did all that. Happy feliz cumpleaños, hug, great. Next day, drove to Mexicali for about 2 hours in the morning, to and from. Came back here yesterday, got home like at 11. And my family is the type of family that does a lot of my mom specifically does a lot of superstitions, and let me know in various chats, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Keep an eye on Instagram, see if anybody's
I
saying
am.
clearly no one's saying anything.
No, they are. I'll read some right now.
Okay. Oh, I like
finish
that.
your story.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, so we're the family. My mom has this like 5-6 rituals that she does every year. Let me know if you heard any of these. Throwing money on the ground. Like literally, there's coins across my entire house floor right now. Just coins. Because if you spread the money and the wealth amongst your home will be blessed with a lot of money in the incoming year. Sure. There's also a lot of rice, white rice, just uncooked white rice as well. I don't know that one.
I've never heard of that
I
one.
don't know that one, but it's there.
Okay. What is that one?
No,
Flip,
I'll ask next year. But it's a prosperity for something. There's also a luggage next to the door for the prospect of traveling. And
I heard that one.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Have you heard the egg in the water?
No.
So she'll get a glass cup. She'll fill up the glass cup with water. She'll crack an egg at midnight, pour it into the water, and it's supposed to the whites of the egg, the la yema, the yellow stuff will go and sink, right? But the
egg whites,
will stay up and kind of create like a
balance,
little spikes and like whatever. Should. And if it does and it creates like a little castle inside, then you're gonna have a great year. It's almost like a Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Like if you see a shadow type of thing. If there's
Did you do that too or no?
I don't do it. They do it. They do it for the house. But if the Castillo doesn't show up, then might not be the best of years. Checked in this morning. It's a pretty depleted castle we got in there right now. Let's see what we got.
I just on Instagram. Shout out to everyone watching Instagram. We have the 18 Battalion saying Happy New Year's, fellas.
Love it.
XH Photography with the fire emoji. Shout out to you. And we have Chris Ribbit joining, saying the goats. Happy belated birthday, brother.
Oh, season.
And then saying amen to that. I don't know about the rice though.
Yeah, I don't know about the rice.
That one's weird. The grapes. Do they do?
Oh grapes? Yeah, so grapes at midnight. That's a classic,
like
oh, here are your grapes.
One wish per grape.
Gobble.
Dude, I was 10 seconds and I had 4 grapes left.
What do you mean 10 seconds? You do it before the new year?
Yeah, right at midnight. You have a minute to eat all 12.
Okay. So you do it before midnight?
No way.
No wonder your dreams don't come true. I like the Filipino tradition of 12 grapes the minute after. Yep, to ensure the 12 months of health. Yep, that's for us. It's 12 wishes. We do 12 wishes. So you got to think about your wishes before. Yeah. Because if you're there, and it's pretty hard to come up with 12 things you
have to come up with. I have a minute on my notes.
I want a 6-pack. I want to, like, it's kind of, you got to make sure you plan it out.
Yeah.
Las 12 uvas. Yep. Esteban saying that, but yeah, I mean, that's, and then I had to protect my dog from the fireworks.
Oh, pobrecito.
Yeah, no, these fucking assholes across the street. Like, fireworks are illegal, guys. I don't know if you guys,
they are.
I don't know if you guys have heard, and I don't care to be a party pooper.
I was literally having a conversation with someone about this. Like, dude, fireworks are, because like someone said, like a Sprouts worker said, "Oh yeah, I already got my fireworks," and I was like, fireworks are illegal here, right? I don't see the stance like in TJ.
Yeah.
Like,
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah,
good time.
Yeah, 100% just firing. Imagine Snapdragon allowing fireworks. the supporter section, the battalion coming out with like fireworks lightsabers. 18th Battalion.
Okay.
Great.
That'd be pretty dope.
In any case, that's kind of what we had protecting the doggo, and that's, that was my New Year's. Chill. I had a great week in Yosemite. Literally a whole different world over there.
Yeah. That's so sick, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm not a hiking person, but after like having done a lot of the trails, I'm still not a hiking person. But I missed the disconnection. But it was cool. But I miss soccer in San Diego. And I came back. I'm like, all right, guys, what's happened? Not a lot has happened.
Nothing.
In terms of soccer in San Diego, but
yeah, there's been a few things, right? I think SDFC has.
So what's worse, a few random fireworks or gunshots? Okay, let's not go into that argument, because gunshots are worse because gravity. Like,
lo que
period.
sube, baja.
Yeah, 100%. But either way, just be safe out there. It's still New Year's today, so you're still blasting out the fireworks that didn't have yesterday, and it's all good. Just think about the puppies. That's all I say.
Puppies.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
pobrecitos.
again, nothing out of the ordinary necessarily happened. Duran Ferree already signed as the first San Diego FC player. We're waiting to see where he's going to go ahead and land. There are some rumors as far as him going to potentially an MLS team, potentially going to Europe, potentially
what would
even
be
going
the best destination for him.
potentially even going to the USL Championship. And I think that is going to be his best destination at this point.
But you think anywhere in the USL he'll get a starting position?
I don't know. And I would think that if you're San Diego FC, you definitely want that to get starting position. So does that mean you send him to a USL 1? Do you send him to another MLS next team? Are you priming him to be ready for this essentially for him to be the starter day one, like opening matchup? And it may be, right? Maybe, because
a lot can happen in a year.
A lot can happen in a year. The first match, yeah, it's the biggest match, but at the same time, look at what happened in the first match of San Diego Loyal. Jake Finlayson. Like in the history of San Diego Loyal, Jake Finlayson. Right? Like you think
Who?
of it. I can think of five. I can think of 5 goalkeepers before Jake Finlayson. I can think of Austin Guerrero, Coque Vegas, Amal Knight, Anthony Siaha, Duran Ferree. There you go. And none of them started in the first match of San Diego Loyal ever. So what I'm saying is that they would want to potentially more than likely have him be the starter day one, unless, again, there's a superstar signing. Because let me tell you something. If there is something that happened over the course...
Hugo Lloris to LAFC?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's what you're competing against. That's what's going to be happening.
World Cup winner.
The captain
of the World Cup winning team.
Like, this is huge for a rivalry, a potential rivalry that you're looking at down the line with LAFC. And
because I think Lloris had gotten injured, right?
Yeah, no, he had a pretty terrible injury, and he came back. But again, he's still playing. He's still going to be doing amazingly. But yeah, LAFC announced today that the club has signed legendary French goalkeeper Hugo Lloris to a guaranteed contract, or Loris, through 2024 with options for 2025, 2026. Lloris will occupy an international roster slot upon the receipt of his P1 visa and international certificate. As they're saying, as president and general manager said, Hugo Lloris is arguably the most successful goalkeeper in his generation and a proven winner. We are
just not a top half.
Incredibly excited that Hugo has chosen LAFC as his next phase. Hugo Lloris, who came out of the Olympique Lyonnais over in France academy, that he was scouted. He was going to be the next big thing. Everybody knew that once Barthez with the 2006 team kind of went away, somebody else was already in that lineage. There is also, a couple goalkeepers now that are waiting to be the replacement for Lloris himself. But look, if the first match of SDFC is LAFC versus SDFC, and you have Hugo Lloris on one side,
and the referee, no man.
And all respect, and everybody knows this. Like we're pals with the kid, and love him, support him, and everything. But Duran Ferree and Hugo Lloris, like, that's a mismatch already.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He could get there.
He can get there.
Get talent-wise.
Or SDFC signs another goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Sign somebody else. Sign somebody who's maybe in the Liga MX. Somebody who's right to dream, who has a little bit more experience in that sense. But yes, I forgot Trey Muse. But at the end of the day, like, that's going to be an interesting thing to look at of how this team is going to be built. LAFC is adding pieces and into something that's already established. SDFC is the newest, most brand new thing that's coming into the next year, and they're trying to revolutionize the MLS with their style of play.
And with that, I mean, Head Case has an interesting point. That they would have to loan Durant to the Denmark League, FCN, for him to get time.
Again, that's a possibility, right? Like that's exactly the possibility there with what can be done.
I mean, you have the world's youngest soccer team in the world,
FC
right?
Northland, absolutely.
So why not add a very young, decent, with a lot of potential goalkeeper? Will he get minutes there? I don't know either. I mean, I think the best chance for him to get minutes is either MLS Next or USL League One. I don't think he would get a starting position, maybe in Las Vegas Lights or something. One of those teams that don't really make playoffs.
Yeah,
or
because
have a chance.
what's going to happen is that if you're looking at things, right, Koke is a starter of San Diego Loyal because he fit Nate Miller's style of play. Of course, Durant Free is there. He earned the number 2 spot. But, with a competition of Koke, who isn't necessarily the best shot stopper, the best overall package goalkeeper, he's great for what he does. But if he couldn't beat him at a USL championship level, what makes you think that he's going to be ready then in a couple years, in a year and a half of training wherever he is? And again, hopefully this is a trial by fire situation and he's able to rise above all expectations and and shut everybody up and prove why he's one of the biggest prodigies behind in front of net for the US in general. But there's still a lot of time until then. So, I mean, I don't know what people think about that.
Nick Duffy saying, does signing a big name player go against challenging the pay to play model? I mean,
you have to compete.
I think that's a little bit of a strap. I mean, I think the pay to play model is more when it comes to youth soccer, and going like anywhere from like the ages 8 to 16, right? Anything there where that's more like the pay to play model where everyone's against it. When it comes to the pro level, I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. You have to send money to get a good player, and those are transactions, and that's what it is in the Premier League. That's what it is in La Liga and anywhere in the world.
Even with an academy, you're still going to go ahead and if you want to be a competitive team in the professional sense, even at a lower mid-tier league or below mid like the MLS is and keep trying to be, then you still have to sprinkle in some veteran experience there.
Yeah.
Whether that's going to be people who are coming directly from the Right to Dream Academy who were in it and have experience because they are out there. They are already winning important titles throughout the world in the MLS as well, and bring them back home and saying, hey, we have this cool project. You guys know what it takes. You guys know what it's all about. Come on in, come on down, be part of San Diego FC, the inaugural team, and then have that be the blueprint while we start cooking these younglings over here. Mm-hmm. And then we start spreading them in and finding talent that way.
I mean, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, yeah. So his next thing, he understands the element of it, but which I knew he did. I don't know why
of course
he explained it. But a marquee signing, it does. It's but you have to play both sides if you want to be competitive. And again, that's the big if. And we've talked about this, and we'll keep talking about it, and we will raise it once we have that access to the Right to Dream people, the Right to Dream officials at SDFC. We've already reached out to the club and starting to go ahead and start to look at potential dates and stuff to really talk and find out what they want about the technical side of this team that's coming in, because it's going to be really interesting. What's their job? What's their job in the grand scheme of SDFC? Is their job to come in and bring the talent from San Diego up in order to have the best product and most competitive product? Is it to raise the talent locally, find those players, and then sell them off and make a profit? And hopefully the Right to Dream model is then raised as well, because guess what? This player came through the Right to Dream Academy, this player, and now they're playing over here. I had a conversation actually with somebody at SDFC about Duran Free, actually. And I'm like, so what's going to happen? 4 or 5 years from now, Duran Ferry is doing fantastic, amazing, and he gets sold off from SDFC, and he's playing at Villarreal in Spain, right? And he wins a Europa League, or he wins Copa del Rey, or he wins I don't know, something elsewhere. The Herbidense, he's playing for Ajax, he's playing for Feyenoord, whoever. What's going to be the tweet, or what's going to be the discussion about when he wins that? Duran Ferry, right to dream product. Congratulations. Duran Ferry, SDFC, right to dream product. Is he really a right to dream product? Is he really that? And the response that I got was actually, it obviously makes more sense. Like, he's like, well, wouldn't we want to go better with San Diegan Duran Ferry? Which I'm like, fair, but that's
But
still.
will they though?
But
Go with that?
will they?
Exactly.
And will they not include that because they can? Or it's interesting, just down the line as far as big picture, and that's why we want to go ahead and talk to these individuals because, look, what's the end game for San Diego FC? If I was to be in there, my only priority would want to be, as a selfish San Diegan, removing myself from everything that we've done here, the San Diego football, two balls and a mic verse, not covering, not being fair, neutral, unbiased. I need a championship for this city. And this model isn't conducive to that. How do I know? Because I watch world football and have grown up in an academy model when I played as well. It doesn't yield championships immediately, at least.
No, it's a
But
championship once in a while, and that year of that championship, it's a great fucking story.
And yeah, and that's kind of what Cholos did, right? When they won it, like, they had been playing in the second division, they were starting their academy. They scouted Joe Corona, part of that team here locally, the local boy. Boom, win the championship, and they're still talking about it to this day. And that's never, and for good reason, because they did something impressive, beating Toluca and away and all that good stuff to win it. It was real.
Joe Corona, who's rumored to go Cholos. So.
Joe Corona, who is, yes, correctly. Our sources say that that's actually, in the works a little bit more further than people who might not be paying attention to it. But other than that, there was a good little wrap up, and I want to give credit to San Diego FC UK, who had this write up, what we know about San Diego FC's technical operations so far. But again, it's just a really cool little write-up article here that they wrote, because there is information out there as far as where SDFC is, and especially through the right to dream model. Obviously, it takes a little bit of takes a little bit of investigation and a little bit of Sherlock Holmes, a little bit of stalking on LinkedIn to really get a grip of who is here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, great write-up with the information out there. So we know that Tyler Heaps, group of head recruitment and insight for Right to Dream, appears will be supporting to build this squad. That's what I'm saying. These are some of the individuals that are already in place and starting to take care of the soccer side of things. And I want to know what they want from this team. What are they looking for? Are they looking for champions? Are they looking for that first team one? Are they looking for the future? Are they looking for talents to grow and sell off? He's previously the director of sporting analytics and U.S. soccer, and most recently the head of sporting technology and insights at AS Monaco. We know AS Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
AS Monaco is very successful. What do you know about Monaco?
Oh, they produced Mbappe.
Okay.
They had Falcao, kind of revived his career a little bit. But AS Monaco is just essentially one of those feeder teams that they create talent and then they sell the players. And that's what Monaco, they had that good run. They got the semifinals in the Champions League. Well, I think they won the league over PSG. So just it's that team where, man, specifically this one year was one of the best years in Monaco's history, and that's what everyone goes back to, right? That Mbappe year where he kind of blew up. Fabinho, there you go. But that's essentially what we know, right, about Monaco.
Yeah, so I mean, Monaco is a team that plays in France, and they're definitely one of those legendary teams, red and white. But what's one of the things that this team really has is that knack for finding talent. And you know who else played there? Rafa Marquez. Rafa
Mhm.
Marquez played in Monaco. Berbatov played in Monaco. Bernardo Silva played in Monaco. Aubameyang, Trezeguet. I mean, we can go down the line of all these big names that have been part of AS Monaco. But I'm trying to say here is that that is a model of an academy that can be successful, just like Ajax. 619 Soccer was saying in the chat, they are successful because they compete. We've seen AS Monaco in Champions League. We've seen them play in important matches against PSG. They used to be really good and compete against Olympique Lyonnais. A lot of French league talk today. Before PSG, decided to buy everybody. Mbappe was there as a 17-year-old. He was lighting it up, and
Because it is in those lower, like, not essentially the big leagues where you see more of these feeder teams, right? Like Germany, you
Yeah.
see Borussia Dortmund. In Netherlands, you see Ajax. In France, you see Monaco. In Spain, you really don't see that unless it's like Real Sociedad or Sevilla or something like that, because then they'll go to Real Madrid or Barcelona or Atletico. In England, you have like 5 big teams. You have Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Man U. I mean, I don't even want to put Man U there anymore, but
that's big of you.
yeah,
That's big of
I
you.
mean, it is.
Yeah, Drew. Ajax is also the biggest club in the country in the largest capital city. Not apples to apples, but a lot. That's true, right? Like and geographically speaking, right? These European countries are so small, where there's such a giant gap in soccer operations in the MLS compared to what's going on in Europe. But again, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops and what the Right to Dream vision is going to be. But to have somebody who's been under that European tutelage and know-how of a team like Monaco is impressive. Another name is James Bunce, who left the director of performance role at AS Monaco in November and was previously the director of high performance at US Soccer in general, right? So you're trying to marry this US Soccer arm that you have with this international Right to Dream academy model, and it's a really interesting mix if it ends up working, because you have the experience of what the MLS is, right? There's a lot of executives and a lot of people who are trying to come into the MLS because it's bringing money, and it's not necessarily the same. It's almost like that transition from an outdoor player into indoor player with the San Diego Sockers, where, well, you would think it's soccer, you would think it's the same thing, but it's not. It really takes a little bit more. But seeing these names and this experience is going to really put together exactly what SDFC is going to be looking forward to. James Bunce, Bunce, is stupid. He was AS Monaco's physical performance and metrics individual. So literally
He found Mbappe,
the science of it, right? The science of soccer, the science of the strain on muscles and what's going to make an athlete work at their peak. A good somebody to have when you're going to go ahead and develop this as well. Head of coaching at Right to Dream, Carson Dome, will spend some time in San Diego, as the article continues from San Diego FC UK. It'll be a lot of the kind of the philosophy of it, and that's huge in this, right? You want to go ahead and have the same play style, or at least philosophy, from the first team, from the younglings, the little ones, the ones that are incoming, to all the way into the senior team. You need to have that one through line of play style, that one mentality, the one way of playing, that you can have these players be interchangeable, have these players be able to step up maybe when they maybe not necessarily would thrive anywhere else, A 15-year-old who's been playing in that same play style for 4 years will play better than a 27-year-old talented who's coming in trying to adapt to a very foreign play style. The younger kid's going to go ahead and grasp a little bit better and be able to be more useful. You don't think so?
A 15-year-old compared to a 27-year-old?
A 27. Listen.
Yeah.
You need to turn up.
Mhm.
A 27-year-old who's coming in with experience, who's having a hard time adapting.
Okay, who's having a hard time.
So
Right.
yeah. Make sure we're paying attention.
There's a chance that 27-year-old could adapt easily.
There's a chance, but
And
what I'm saying,
Yes.
I don't know. Let me turn this up. What I'm saying
Mhm.
is, if they're having a hard time or not adapting as fast, it'll take the young player a little bit shorter time frame to adapt to the senior team. Get me?
I got you.
You got me?
I got you.
Yeah. People disagree. People agree. Down here. No, but yeah, absolutely. That's something that will not be forgotten. San Diego Loyal is what gave Duran Free to the world. Duran Free is a San Diego Loyal product, and 5, 6, 7 years when he's at the Europa League championship match, when he's playing over for the Club World Cup and beating Haaland and Man City, because he's playing for Corinthians. He went to Brazil for some reason. I hope they say congratulations to Right to Dream and San Diego Loyal product. Is that going to happen? Probably not, but everybody will know the truth on that one. Atletico Bilbao, another example of a type of academy which just has purely Spanish players. Chivas is exactly that. They try to harness that. But yeah, that's the same thing that well, hopefully SDFC will be able to harness. Is, look, if they're able to make this work and they can harness the true spirit, the footballing spirit of what a team association football, that's what it's called. It's called football, but it's fútbol asociación, association football, because you're associating with other individuals. It's a team game. It's not just one guy. If that team aspect really carries through and does well, even if they're not winning championships, but they're competitive, it can literally be a change and make San Diego a hub for soccer in America, make it a capital of soccer in America, like Landon Donovan's always wanted. And we'll see if he's going to end up working for SDFC at any point and end up on any sort of Guess Who board games for next year. Mads Davidson, a group of head football for the Right to Dream, appears to have the experience of implementing long-term strategies, quote, in a different cultural context. But the scouts are there. They've been over at the MLS Next events. They've been over MLS Next Fest to scout other teams. I know Boateng, not Jerome, not Kevin Prince, is also part of a scouting here as well. Derek Boateng, who was a former professional footballer and Ghana international, played at AEK Athens and Getafe. That's kind of where we're at with the soccer in San Diego, as well as that goes, right? So we're going to try to get more people onto the show in person through Zoom. Well, not even Zoom. We canceled Zoom because we do StreamYard now. Through virtual means. But I also want to go ahead and give a huge shout out. If you haven't gone and read it, San Diego FC UK's article, what we know about San Diego FC's technical operations so far. Great write-up. We actually had a conversation, and looks like we're going to go ahead and have them also be a contributor for San Diego Football. As we announced at the top of the show that Two Balls on a Mic, the show will remain. However, San Diego Football will be the name of all the handles moving forward. Everything's switching. So say hello to San Diego Football on Twitter and Instagram, and don't be a stranger. And that's the thing, that that logo, the Two Balls and a Mic logo, all these stickers, people know them. People know them, and it's humbling, and it's great.
It'll still be around.
But it'll still be around.
But you guys will want some San Diego Football stickers.
100%. And there will be merch with it.
And there will be 2 balls in the mic shirt merch too.
Yeah, 100%. You can look forward to that. There's also going to be, you guys love them, you know them. I mean, well, one of the two at least, right, guys? Drew Steck and Cesar H. Football, Cesar Hernandez, your friendly neighborhood ESPN correspondent, will be having a show on the platform San Diego Punto Futbol, where they go ahead and watch different soccer films. And they're gonna go ahead and talk about the actual film. They're gonna go ahead and maybe break down the tactics of these films. We went over a couple of the films that are coming up, but let them know what games you definitely want to go ahead and want to see them talk about. That's going to be really fun, and we have a couple of other surprises coming down. When we welcome people to go ahead and join us as well in that venture. So with that said, moving on to the breaking news for San Diego Wave that happened while I was hiking through Yosemite and hiking in Mariposa Grove, hiking 2.5 miles to get to the beginning of the hike.
Oh,
because it's winter and things are closed and roads are closed. Yeah, no, that's my girlfriend was hiding the truth. She's like, "Oh no, it's here. We'll get there." You should have seen my face, dude. Like in my pictures, the actual picture, not the ones that I posted. It's just
like you would have preferred to just stay at the cabin, huh?
No, and despite my face, I enjoyed every single second of it.
Yeah,
and I was suffering, but it's my game face of just like, like, oh, but it's only here. I'm like, just give me a second. And then we see like two old people just like lap us, and you see them on the way back. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? But yeah, so we have the first rebrand of SD Football is here in 2024. Hopefully not to last in the city upcoming year. Shots fired to SDFC from Jeff Abramovich. Season's greetings. We already have the capital of indoor soccer, to be honest. Ain't nobody can lay a finger on the San Diego Sockers unless you're the Chihuahua Savage last year.
Unless.
And also, they don't have the best halftime show in MISL, the celebrity game.
So dumb.
We're going to get to that in a bit.
Anyways, you were saying first breaking news, right?
Yeah, so Chiva, what's the breaking news? What did I miss?
Yeah, so San Diego Wave re-signed Kristen Westphal to a 2-year contract. The right back that pretty much plays every single game for San Diego Wave since she's been here. I think is a crucial re-signing that they needed. She has been very reliable and knows the KC Stony way. So a player that you much needed, a fullback in that team still. So it's a player that's already well accustomed to Naomi Girma, Abby Dahlkemper, and their play style. So 3/4 of that starting backline is pretty much set, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you kind of find someone else to fill in that left back position. But now in the upcoming draft, you're trying to look for maybe another defender.
Yeah. And that's going to be coming up quick. GM for the San Diego Wave, Molly Downtain, said that Kristen is a talented defender and a positive influence in the locker room and a role model for our community. She is a player that's made a key contributions on the field for the Wave throughout the club's first 2 seasons and adds talent and valuable experience to the roster. 30-year-old coming in, 47 total appearances with 45 starts. That, again, tells you the importance of her. Like, she's one of those players that you don't really think about because, again, there's these superstars, right? You have Morgan, you have Jaden Shaw coming up, you have Naomi Girma, you have Kaylin Sheridan, but to fill those other spaces, other roles, last year you had Rachel Hill, right? And, she's gone, and people were like, oh my God, no, she's gone. It's like, oh, come on, guys. How many of you legitimately were at the stadium cheering just as loud for Rachel Hill as you would for Jaden Shaw, as you would for Morgan, as you would for
100%?
And that's just the reality of things, right? And Kristen Westphal is one of those players that's been absolutely crucial in having that backline be what it is.
Look, man, fullbacks are not going to get the talent and the love that they deserve, right? They are a key component in any team, and their stats are not going to reflect, right? You're going to see what you want from great fullback is, okay, can you slide tackle? Can you cut up plays? Can you stop crosses? Can you create crosses? So that's essentially what you want from a fullback. And that's what Kristen Westphal does. She goes up and down. She runs much more than anybody else in that team. You can see it by the last minutes of the games. She's gassed from all the running, up and down running that she's been doing. It's definitely a crucial player that I'm sure Casey Stoney would have 100% said, we need her back. I want Kristen Westphal back.
Yeah, so Kristen Westphal, what she has been a part of is on the frame. She has been a part of the defensive effort to average less than a goal against per game, 22 matches. That's not bad. 22. She's only allowed 22 goals and 91 shots during her the season. Good for her second lowest and the third lowest of the league, respectfully. So, San Diego Wave right now has the most signed players on a roster than any other NWSL team. What that means, it can mean a lot because, again, you have players that you want already. You have players who stayed, players who are coming back, especially surviving an expansion draft where there's two teams coming in and losing some players in there. One player you lost and you deemed important enough to have her be brought back. You moved hell and high water and got Sierra Engie back. You didn't do that for Poe, didn't do that for Rachel Hill. You have Doniak coming back. There's still some names out there. I think you were looking at Emily Van Egmond.
Yeah, just trying to see if eventually she signs back. But if anybody knows anything, 619 Soccer May for Van Egmond, that hasn't been announced yet. But in hindsight, if you have the most players in an active roster already in the NW, so this means that you have a lot of returning players.
Yeah.
I think they have one or two new signings that they've made that are brand new that will probably be easy to adapt to the team. You saw it last season with different players like Rachel Hill is one of them that adapted very well. So this has to mean that this team is going to stay competitive this season.
Mm-hmm.
Even now we've seen it where if you have a rough patch of 9 games without a win, you can still win the freaking Shield in this league. You can still become the best team in the league and finish first place. That is insane. You don't see that anywhere else in the world, unless it's La Liga Mexicana, which is just ridiculous how it runs. But then is so competitive that if you don't win maybe 10 games in a row, you still have a shot at winning something. So they have to stay competitive, especially with the core that they kept, the 9 players that were untouchable. You have Barcenas that is also coming back and just going to get better as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what Wave does in this draft. Again, I think they should go for a defender. But Tony, there was also a mock draft kind of like of the NWSL, but I know you're kind of trying to see.
Yeah, no, I'm
players,
I'm just trying to see exactly like, again, who the players that are currently rostered for the San Diego Wave are, right? So you have Elise Bennett, one of those new players that was signed over. So that's going to be somebody to look forward to. Kaylin Sheridan, Abigail Kemper, Naomi Girma, Emily Van Egmond is still listed. But take that with a grain of salt. Kelsey Turnbow, same thing. Amira Ali, Sierra Engie, Sofia Jakobson, Giovanna DeMarco, I think is Gonzo. Jaden Shaw, Alex Morgan, Kristen McNabb, Mackenzie Doniak. Poe is no longer there. Carusa still up in the air, right?
Yeah. And then Westfall's just announced back.
Westphal, Taylor Korniak, which will not be the name on the back of the jersey for too long. Congratulations on her engagement. That was her post. Sorry for everybody who has got a Korniak jersey. Pretty cool. Barcenas, Calaprico, Dottie Howard. Some of the names that are still listed. And I know Savannah McCaskill, who was also a big signing in terms of NWSL, coming over from LA, LA's rival team, Angel City.
Yeah, I think she's played for 5 different NWSL teams already, but yeah, it's coming from Angel City. Said she understands the rivalry. The interviews up, the whole press conference up on our social medias as well. If you guys want to check that out.
So yeah, they have a sure 619 says Sophia or Carusa probably gone, with McCaskill signing a new.
Who would you rather keep, Carusa or Jakobson?
I think we never saw the best of Sophia Jakobson here in San Diego Wave, and I think that contribution wise, Carusa was more important and impressive. So I'd rather keep her than Sophia Jakobson. You get rid of Sophia Jakobson, that also opens up another international slot for you to potentially sign somebody.
They're both international.
I know, but it's still. I mean, follow my logic. Follow my logic, because then you keep both. All right, and there you go.
I know.
They're both in Ireland. Even though she's from San Diego. But Chiva, San Diego Wave have a potential for a draft and a defender. And I know you were talking about a mock draft and who potentially can be landing according to that here in San Diego.
Yeah, so according to this mock draft, the number 1 pick is going to be Trinity Byers, who is from the Texas University. Just looking at her stats are insane. I think her last season she scored a number of 18 goals in 24 games, 14 assists. So that's pretty impressive, right? But for San Diego Wave, they have this player named Kennedy Weasley, which, I mean, that already sounds dope. You know, she's from Stanford University, meaning she's played with Naomi Girma. She's played with Sierra Angie. Not too sure if she's completely like a fullback, center back, or anything like that, but any defensive player that you might get your hands on that has already a connection with people in your defensive midfield positions, right?
Kennedy Weasley.
I mean, that's how you pronounce it in SDFC UK.
Anyway, Kennedy Wesley, yeah. So part of that Stanford lineage. Stanford players have really done well here in San Diego Wave. So that's something that can potentially be something to look forward to. Strengthen up that chemistry, strengthen up what's been going on. It seems to be successful going forward with the young talent. I think Casey Stoney does a really good job with the younger players and getting them ready. And as long as they're ready to play, because from what we saw in this, I think, we haven't really talked about this, but there were some players that she got at some point that were just literally bodies and fillers there, and was not very happy with how they actually played the game and didn't feel like they were up to the standard, especially when they had so many World Cup players leave. So that was something that she had to work through, and even then was able to get the Supporter Shield, win the regular season for that. So interesting times over at SD Wave and what's going on and
just
the happen goings.
Also, for the NWSL draft, there are 2 San Diego native players that are registered for the draft.
Okay.
One of them being Gianna Crichton from UC Irvine, midfield / defensive player, youth clubs playing in Rebels and serve, attended West Hills High School. Sepa la bola, ¿dónde está esa madre?
West Hills High School.
All right. I believe we did go not live on Instagram anymore. Just I think there's an hour cap in IG live video, so we'll get that back up if you were watching on Instagram. The second player is Maddie Mercado, Nordane, forward / midfield player, went to the Surf Academy, attended Cathedral Catholic High School. So just 2 players to keep an eye on if you're following any San Diego native player that's going to appear in the draft. Maybe someone that Wave can look into later in the draft. They're saying, hey, you know what? Let's bring someone home. Let's create that story again. Let's fill in this gap of we don't have local players or as many local players as we'd like in the team. So 2 players that could potentially they could take a look into. Also, Christina Birkenroad is injured with Monterrey, so she's going to be out a couple months. Maybe they end up trading her somewhere or something here. So maybe Wave can kind of like look into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been proponents of that.
We just won Berkey here in San Diego, man.
It just makes too much sense. And even as a bench player, as a rotation player, like Christina Birkenroad has a talent. And again, it's part of that same line of disrespect that Mia Fisher was getting when Tigres, and we certainly know a couple things about Tigres Femenil and Liga MX Femenil and the Femenil and the pedigree of that league. So it's, I mean, have some respect. And I think somebody like Christina Birkenroad could definitely be successful here in the NWSL. So with that, we have SDFC, we have San Diego Wave, we have a brand new year. So let's talk about it a little bit, right? Let's talk about some potential resolutions for the 2024 year, for this season that's coming up. Well, not season, because SDFC will not be playing a single second of soccer here in the 2024 year, but SD Wave will. However, they still can have resolutions and things they want to accomplish. How do you want to set this up? Did you write some? Do we want to talk about it? Do we want to go back and forth? Do we want to just think about it? What do you guys think as the listeners too, and followers, supporters of these teams? Yeah, throw in the San Diego Soccer's in there. What do you want SDFC, San Diego Wave, San Diego Soccer's New Year's resolution to be? And what should they be striving for this year, right? I mean, for SDFC, it can be really easy. It can be something as simple as build the roster and have players ready to go and start really showing exactly who's going to be representing this team, who's going to be representing the San Diego community in the Major League Soccer arena for the foreseeable future, right? Get people excited. I think that's something that's definitely going to be being worked out.
People are already dropping stuff in the chat right now. I'm saying,
all right. So let's see what we have.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's right for San Diego
championship. Wave. All right, for San Diego Wave, for the San Diego Soccer's resolution, win a championship. All right, because last season, both of those teams won the Supporters Shield. Both of them won the Supporters Shield. Both of them won the regular season. But guess what? They did not win the championship. So, all right, let's start simple there.
This is the one.
Dro Hug. Make a better logo. Make a better logo.
Or crest. And corrected it.
It's a logo. It's a business. It's a business.
I mean, I think a lot of people are going to want that from SDFC, right? To just change the crest. It's not going to happen. Change the name. It's not going to happen. You know how much work it takes to even take a step back and do it. I mean, they did cool, but I think they're gonna go with it. I think eventually it can work. It'll start growing on people or whatever, but it is what it is. But they're not going to change anything. But I think for San Diego FC, Tony, it will be really, really cool. Like you mentioned, build a roster, but essentially sign a coach already. Announce a coach that can take part into building this team. Yeah, it's the GM's job and anything scouts to find players. But I would want a coach that's willing to spend this next year and a half or so into building this team, into having hands on the craft of how he wants to build this. I think that would be very interesting. And that's something that I think SDFC should be looking to midway through the year, at least.
And that's really going to set the tone of exactly how you're going to go about things, right? Like, you can totally go ahead and you know, the rumor was, Hugo Sanchez. And I'll tell you this right now, there was absolutely no rumor. There was, and this is, you know, things that we kind of got on the back line. Like, fight el son. Like, the reporters just like, okay, let's just throw this out there and get a click. That's literally the conversation. And that was told to us. So that's how things work. Let's just float this lie over and get some clickbait here and there. And guess what? SDFC was part of that with Hugo Sanchez, but that's not going to happen. But say like a Piojo Herrera, say a Tuca Ferretti, like, or somebody else who's coming in and you know.
I don't think they bring anyone from Liga MX experience.
Okay. Somebody who is a big name in the MLS sense. I mean, LAFC, I don't know.
I know who I want. I know who I want, man. And if he's down to come back from Europe, I want Matias Almeida.
Yeah, and he's had experience
with MLS. He's had experience in California. This would be very interesting, but he is at Atkins and has Orbelin Pineda and Pizarro over there. So he's happy doing that, trying to fight for a conference. What's that European conference tournament under the Europa League? I think he's there.
The European conference.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's so dumb.
More money for them. But anyways, shout out to the Emo Brown who joined the live on Instagram.
Hey, shout out Emo Brown. ¿Qué onda, vato?
Keith Miller also joining on Instagram. Shout out to you guys.
I'm nominated for Coach of the Year in San Diego, the only coach to bring a championship to a team in San Diego with the name San Diego. So keep that on there. So, all right, SDFC New Year's resolutions. What else should they be looking at? And I think that they should be looking at really solidifying that supporters base. Really solidifying what the hell is going to happen to fill out all of those seats in terms of how much they're going to charge for those seats, how much they're going to go ahead and be pumping in and recruiting on their end and really trying to grow these supporters. Whose responsibility is it? It's going to be the responsibility of supporters to grow themselves.
But the team should be able to help a lot.
I know that there's, we know exactly who's leading that. It was the friend, the pal, Jerry Jimenez, who poured his heart out on Instagram and, gave his whole soccer story, which is really cool. Check it out at SDFC Jerry. He changed it. But Jerry Jimenez, the guy, you love him. Go follow him. He has a really cool story of his interpretation of soccer, his lens. Chivas fan, grew up here, US fan, 3252, and a lot of that good stuff. So, he's going to be in charge of putting this all together and harnessing the power of the supporter groups for soccer and SDFC in San Diego. Again, you have the Riptides, you have the Chavos Frontera Ultras, you have the locals who I'm waiting and we've seen them be in these discussions and talks, but they haven't been overly outward as far as like what's the direction, color. Like we're waiting, and there's still plenty of time, and it's fine. The 18th Battalion. Me falta uno. There's one more on Instagram. That's coming up. Oof, se me olvidó. That's my bad. Our SDFC, maybe. We finally even put the SDFC flow on the sticker chart. If you want to point at it, right there. That's not Jesus Christ.
Flow.
Oh my God.
We have Fronteras Ultras.
Yes, we have Fronteras Ultras. Yes, but it's like asking a child, point to your nose, and they point to their elbow. Like then they go to their nose, but it's like Barra 18. There you go. Thank you, everybody here. Jesse Marsh, our head coach. I like that. But no, that's going to be something that's going to be coming in. I don't know what the Barra 18 thing is as well. I don't know. We don't know. And it's literally
stuff is in the works
learning
for people too.
To see what this section is going to be. Are they going to be under one umbrella? Are they going to make a union? Are they going to be different? Are they going to be paying tickets out the wazoo? Because and I know there was a discussion about this actually online as far as how much that section is actually going to cost, right? So it was about $15 for section 109 at Torero Stadium, right? I'll tell you this right now: supporter section in Snapdragon Stadium will not be $15 per game. It just will not. The dynamic with San Diego FC is that they are paying rent for this venue, so it's not like they own the venue, which is a problem to have, in the sense that you can't really lower prices to a certain degree because you're gonna have to pay and turn that around to have that, at the end of the month, you gotta pay. So what they have in the solution is those on-field VIP seatings that they're gonna be rolling out, and
que valen $10,000.
The $10,000 one. No, yeah, they are literally probably more than likely. It looks like it's on their $10,000 seatings to, field level. It's great when you get to see Messi. It's great when you get to see.
It's not going to cost $10,000 if Messi's here in San Diego.
No, it's going to cost more. But again, how many people are going to pay it when it's not? How many people are going to be so excited to be able to see the Toronto FC's roster right there? Oh man, I need to pay $10,000 to watch Insigne. You could have paid $10,000, flown over to Napoli and watched Insigne, probably from a very similar spot.
It wouldn't even cost.
And it wouldn't even cost $10,000. We would have been incredibly cheaper.
$1,000.
And you would have seen other players in Napoli who are infinitely more better.
Wow, that's a crazy way of looking at it.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a crazy way of looking. Dude, a ticket to Europe round trip is about $1,500.
Okay. Somebody's been looking at flights.
Yeah. But I mean, to spend $10,000, yeah, you're watching them here.
That's
in San Diego.
Not for me.
That's cool. If you have the money, go for it. That's fine.
That might be for you.
I wish I could.
Yeah, like this is the future for Snapdragon, right? You get your little cubetita. I'm looking behind. What else is there? You got some snacks. You got some spritzers. this right here, you got those seats. You have Messi, there
right
in
there.
a
Wow.
jam-packed day game at Snapdragon Stadium.
Oh my gosh.
You know, this is what we're hoping
I like how they
there.
put this picture, but it came out of Tom Penn's mouth, right? Where
Mhm.
there's not going to be many day games. Most of
There's
them are
not
gonna be at night.
supposedly there's not going to be many day games. Yes, that is correct. Mundo.
Man.
And this
Love
is what's interesting. Wave FC is just going to end up being so much more affordable to go to, and that's honestly what Wave should start literally considering. Buy the fan base with affordable soccer in the same venue. Again, you're not going to be paying the same thing for courtside seating, and this is a terrible comparison because the reality of sports, and it just is what it is. You're not going to pay the same amount of money for courtside seats for the LA Lakers than you will for the LA Sparks.
No. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That's successful. Will they have these sitting?
Will parking be the same for both?
Probably, if not more, for SDFC. Like everything could potentially be more expensive at SDFC for a variety of reasons.
Dude,
either
Snapdragon
through the
parking
team.
is more than Disneyland parking.
That's insulting. I hate Disneyland. San Diego County Fair is better than Disneyland any day of the week when they're actually operating, but that's insulting. That's disgusting. That's inhuman. Wow. That really upset me right now. I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
How much is Disneyland parking?
35
and $50.
40, 45.
40, 45.
I think the NWSL champion was 45.
50. I think
50?
it was 50, 45, $50.
Yeah, we said pasan. Take the
Uh,
trolley, guys. Public transportation.
but yeah, so let's see. Is it growing on people or is it Stockholm syndrome, Tiba? Mhm.
Let me look that up real quick.
Oh my God. So will they be behind the benches? Let's take a look at some of these images, right? So I think they're going to be bench adjacent, right? So because
No, I think they're gonna be across
they're
the
going to
field.
move the benches.
No. It's not even.
No.
I don't think it's
Because look, that right there to the right underneath the screen, that is the press box.
Yeah.
So this is where they come out, and this is where the seating is, the bench seating is for Wave. So is all of this next to that pink and SDFC lineup that's coming out of the tunnel? Is all of that premium seating?
I think they're gonna have some across the field too, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, because look, go back to the other picture.
This one?
That logo behind, that's literally what you see, like on the other side.
That is Basher Field, but then that's wrong.
So they're gonna have that whole side.
Because the porch, the Sequan porch, isn't on that side. The Sequan porch is on the other side.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. So whoever designed this, we get the point, but that's wrong. Because the press box would be on this side. Right? Because we always see a cross. There's the screen.
Yeah.
And then there's a Sequan diving board thing.
I think they kind of like mirror the picture, right? In a way.
I think so. Either way, like
I mean, it looks cool.
It
but
looks fine.
Yeah.
It's not for me. If we get some comp seats,
a little bit of
we'll give you the review. We'll give you
a little nitpicking, but you're absolutely right. It does look a little off.
But yeah, so that's kind of the reality for that. People are going to get cooked. Absolutely. That those seats will not have shading. It looks like it. And if they do, then you're paying $10,000 for shading. Get a couple of those tickets. And again, how many of those, even in these pictures, how many empty seats do you see for the $10,000 one? Like there's empty seats. Correcto. Imagine being pitch side at the Wave FC if they win something this year, better and cheaper. Take the trolley, guys.
Yeah, 100% take the trolley.
Life goals, says Paul. Seating is only going to be on the suite side. Okay, so that's okay. Yeah, that's right, because that's what the email said.
Mm-hmm.
The seating is only going to be on the suite side, which is the right side, the tunnel side, the west side of the stadium, where the players come in. So that's where it's going to be. So again, that was
Entonces la hicieron más de pedo esta foto.
Yeah, the picture's wrong. So which is fine. Thank you. I've been looking at it all week, wondering if people can get out of their expensive seats and sub in. Maybe. I mean, that can be a perk, right? But at the end of the day, it's not going to be for me. We're going to see Tony Hawk on those seats. We're going to see local celebrities who are going to Mario Lopez. No, Mario Lopez is too LA.
I'll see Alex Morgan there.
Alex Morgan, sure, for the first game. But man, I mean, that's where the money's going to be coming from. But again, back to the resolutions, right? Fill up that supporter section. Like that should be something. And as well,
Wave should look into that too.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know for a fact these seats are going to get taken away. These seats aren't going to be there for football games.
Yeah.
So they're going to be stored in the back, and these are exclusively to SDFC, I would assume. More than likely, 199.9%. These are going to be for San Diego FC use only. But again, like, it's also going to be part of the supporter groups, and this should be a resolution for the supporter groups. And again, this is just outsider looking in to push the team in order to help them, give you the resources to do what it is that you want, have goals, have your own resolutions. We're going to go ahead and also start diving into talking to the supporter groups themselves, talking to the locals, talking to the Riptide, talking to the Chavos Ultras. We have a great relationship with everybody so far. We've yet to meet the Barra 18 and the 18th Battalion. I'd love to go ahead and get to know kind of a little bit of what's going on there, but ultimately there's still time, but this year is huge.
Yeah.
I know that we were looking at talking to some of the officials of SDFC, having them in, but they were just so busy planning for the 2024 rollout and how that's going to happen and all the events because of the great events that they put on already. The Street Flow event was something that was not planned. It wasn't in the tea leaves, but they took that project on. They did a great job with it. They rolled it out. But that took time away from the planning of 2024. So again, that's left to be seen. I know for a fact they're going to start the Chrome Ball tour in San Diego, and how that's going to look for the different cities. So look for a very reflective soccer ball heading your way. Anybody else in the chat? Anybody else have any resolutions for what San Diego FC should be having? Go ahead and drop them here. I think also the training facility should be nearing completion at that time because, again, they're going to be coming in very, very, very soon. And it's a short turnaround for when they complete it to when the first season of 2025 starts. Something that somebody else was just telling me as someone here is they should do like a beach soccer surfing contest in Oceanside. That'd be really cool.
I'm sure they would probably come up with something.
Yeah,
like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
A beach soccer tournament. There's a lot of beach soccer.
You already brought in the skating world with soccer. Might as well bring the
beach soccer and surfing.
Beach soccer together.
An interesting thing that was said is like, will the players, let's say they sign a veteran, right? Let's say somebody, Mo Salah, let's say Chucky Lozano, let's say Raul Jimenez, somebody, right? Signs for SDFC. Most of Wave players are North County folk. Like, that's where they live, that's where they reside, and it makes sense because they train over at the surf in Del Mar. Will these players, Raul Jimenez, whoever the marquee signing is, live near Siquan? Is that where they're going to live? Because the nice part of San Diego, there's nice parts of San Diego everywhere, but like anywhere that's not directly in East County is a drive in order to go ahead and get to for training every single day.
True.
Right? And so the academy kids are going to live at the academy, obviously, but if you're going to have 1, 2, 3 superstars, you're going to
drive. If you live in La Jolla?
Is that what it is?
What?
Is that what you're assuming? Is that did you look it up?
30, 40 minutes?
Let's look it up.
Without traffic, I would go with 40, 45. 40.
All right. So I'm who am I?
Mo Salah.
I'm Mo Salah. And I live La Jolla for sale. La Jolla homes for sale. Yep, that seems like a good one. Look at that. This $12 million beautiful home. There
we go. Yeah.
There we go.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
I can see him living there.
All right. So, guys, if you guys are looking into buying some real estate, La Jolla, here we go. Beautiful $12 million home. We'll look at maps, and then we go to. I'm just going to type in Siquan. Be safe out there, guys. I know it's not there. I'm just going to put Siquan Resort, right? There's no trains there because for some reason I have it for trains. Right now at 9:27 on New Year's Day, it'll take 40 minutes. All right.
That's without traffic.
That's without traffic. That's the mornings.
Now
that's
with
early in the morning with traffic. Even then.
The crazy thing is I'm assuming, because I've never driven on a commute anywhere from La Jolla to Siquan.
Okay.
It's always going north. I'm assuming most of the traffic will probably be from that area more inland, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, in the mornings, you probably won't get traffic heading that way. Granted, I mean, that guy Salah could have a driver.
He could, could have a driver, but that's still going to take 40 minutes out of your day, right? Again, we're talking about world football. Right now, he's in Liverpool. The circumference of Liverpool from end to end is probably how big is Liverpool?
I mean, he could live in the Jamul area.
Liverpool is 51.5 miles. This is 31.3 miles. So, all right. All right. Maybe. I don't know, man. Like these are questions that are going to be answered not by us, and we'll ask them because again, these are interesting things. Because is that going to be a tell of how many academy players are going to be on the first team because they're all going to be housed there? San Diego Loyal had players that lived around the training center, which is very far from the stadium itself, which is another thing, right? So your training is over here, and now you're going to play at Snapdragon, which is here. What's that dynamic going to look into? Some of the players for Loyal also started living in Hillcrest and North Park, and then started moving and transitioning. But a lot of them were roommating, as we find out. Let's see. Salah will be a Rancho Santa Fe. Will be in Rancho Santa Fe further.
Paul said helicopter is always an option.
Coronado, Manny Machado has a house there. Yeah, I mean Coronado. Yeah, it's an option. But again, that's
a drive. I think it's a longer drive now.
Probably helicopter, as you're saying, is always an option. That'd be all right. But either way, it'll be interesting to kind of go from there. Wouldn't it be shorter from La Jolla to downtown? Yeah, 100%. But again, real estate is there, guys. $12 million, $13 million for a 5.5 bath, 9,000 square, 6-bathroom house. Que bonito lo bonito. All right. So Jeremy over here, one last one for SDFC. I want to see more SDFC office this year. Half of the people I've met are LA people. Has Tom Penn moved here yet? That's another part of this rollout that we're going to be doing with finding out exactly who SDFC is and who the people are that are making these decisions. Who is designing the marketing? Who is designing the way that SDFC will be presented to the world through the lens of MLS, through the lens of soccer? It's part of the tapestry, the story of who this is. And if they really want to go ahead and be different in that sense, then tell your story. Let the people tell your story who are building it. I know themselves, again, talking about Jerry, like he took it upon himself. I don't know if that was assigned, like an assignment that he was told, like, hey man, like you need to go ahead and tell us your story and in this way. And he knocked it out of the park. Great way. But we need more of that. We need to see who these people are, and not for any other reason than to get the zhuzh, the je ne sais quoi of who is there, and you know what that means?
Flavor, maybe.
All right. It's I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It like the intangible, the je ne sais. I don't know.
Je ne sais quoi. I'm gonna drop that at work tomorrow. Just like, hey, je ne sais quoi.
Okay, you don't have to do the finger thing.
You did it.
Yeah, but I did it.
Oh,
je ne sais quoi, Parlez-vous français?
Croissant,
Omelette
croissant.
fromage. Butchering the French language here as we should.
I butchered the English
I do
language
love
too.
that. They should give us the ability to review these seats. Do they have a built-in massager or fans? That'd be really really nice. If they're not the most elite seats
I think it
available
said
in
bring,
comfort,
bring your own massagers and fans.
I don't know if Snapdragon security will allow that. But in any case, that's what we have as far as any sort of resolutions. Let us know. Keep the conversation going online. San
The
Diego
biggest one
Football.
was win a championship.
Win a
That's
championship.
what they want. That's what the people want. That's what San Diego needs.
SD Wave resolutions. All right. So New Year's resolutions for SD Wave. What should those look like? What should those be? And yeah, procrastinating Puma, same thing. Championships. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit backtrack Mario over here. Catching up a little bit. Liverpool is 51 square miles. It's small, around the size of San Francisco. The La Jolla, it's a quad drive. It's a huge trek in the European context. 100%. SD Wave. Win a
SD Wave.
championship. What else? What else do they need? What else? If you're SD Wave, if you're Jill Ellis, if you're
This-
Casey Stoney, if
This
you're
is something that
Weston.
I want this year from them is to interact more with the South Bay community or south of the 8 freeway. I want them to do something for the community down here, not just stay more towards the North County part of San Diego.
which was your same thing where you talked, not necessarily the same thing about the South, but just getting more involved with SD Albion. Like,
Yeah,
don't just be SD Albion, be about
exactly.
the community.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, Wave does great community work, but I would love to see it more in the South Bay area or even a little bit more south, interacting with Tijuana, maybe a little bit more, having a game against Cholo Femenil and not making it behind closed doors,
I
making
like
it
that.
public for people. That's something that I feel like they should look into this year. There's going to be some times where I think they're stopping everything during the Olympics, right? So maybe during that time, just having a friendly against Cholo Femenil or something like that. So
Yeah, and that's really going to grow the community. And something that Procrastinate Puma says is SD Wave non-championship resolutions. Build a fan base that can consistently draw crowds of 20,000 plus, even when there is a MLS team here. And I think that should be the main thing, is that this year, San Diego Wave is the only show in town.
Yeah.
On the outdoor sense. They have an opportunity to grow and solidify the fan base that they have and get people in, and doing things like you're saying is going to do exactly that, is solidifying a fan base that's going to go ahead and have that average of 20,000 plus fill Snapdragon consistently on those Wednesdays. There's no more Challenge Cup, but there is still games that are not as attractive. But if you can still fill in those seats with 20 plus thousand, that's going to be something that's going to speak volumes for when it comes to, you know, who really owns Snapdragon. Because again, if you're SDFC, if you're San Diego Food FC, you can go ahead and pay for as much as you want. You're the one that's paying out the wazoo. You're the one that's paying more than San Diego Wave. You're the one that's shelling out more money because you want to have that position as top dog in SDSU's venue. But if Wave is doing things right, they have a potential to do that and save money and do it for a fraction of what you're doing, and really have a fan base that's, and not saying that they don't, because they do have a fan base already established. They have a fan base that do have the record for average of NW and NWSL regular season games and just the season in general. They have broken records. If San Diego Wave would have been in that championship game, that would have been another record for that venue, for the league, for the championship game.
SDFC will not break league records like Wave have done. And
They
that's,
will not.
And that's due to the league being a lot bigger, a lot more teams. There's stadiums that have like a 60,000 plus capacity, right? But you're not going to get that hype of, oh, SDFC breaks MLS attendance record. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of what's been going on in terms of MLS too. They're using satellite venues, not just the home venues, for some of these matches. El Tráfico over at the Coliseum is obviously going to have a capacity
90,000.
for 90,000,
Mhm.
something that you can't have with 35,000 here in SDFC.
You can't have that anywhere here in San Diego.
Anywhere at all. I think so according to online, it's 82,110 spectators on July 4th, 2023 at the Rose Bowl with LA Galaxy and LAFC. That's the record for games. Now, however, for home games, Atlanta United has the highest average attendance of any MLS teams at 47,000. You cannot fit 47,000 if you're MLS. Again, those records will not happen. You can only break
Wave
records.
average 20,000.
They
right?
average 20,000, and
That's half of that.
yeah.
And that's the highest average for MLS. Like, and there's the stats that show, right, like the average attendances and all that stuff. But it's going to be very interesting if Wave do end up having higher numbers than SDFC.
Yeah, and they are doing a tournament during the Olympics, so there will be some action there. Esteban says, make the Sirens better. It could be way better, and I think by having West End, the supporters liaison, is going to do great things for them. 100% agree. But again, it's going to take a village. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take the right timing. It's going to take the right people. It's going to take the right vision and the right rollout. And the team itself has to be held responsible. You have Shannon McMillan now, who is also working with the community through San Diego Wave. That's a big name. You have all these people who have experience locally that know what it takes to grow a solid, loyal fan base. So, you know, it's a matter of just like SDFC has those resources with all the supporter power that they can possibly ask for in San Diego soccer on the men's side. Wave will also now have all eyes on them, all the resources they can use, because it's not like a loyal situation. The resources that SD Wave have are nothing to look over. Yeah. They are significant, and they could have already done these things that people are talking about in the chat that we are mentioning. They could have already have done that, and they did not. Yeah. They did not do that. And guess what? It's working. The marketing is literally soccer moms in North County, and it's been working. So on their end, it's like, well, why do we have to do anything else? Like, it's working. But you can do so much more, and especially when you have a real chance to stick it to the MLS and stick it to SDFC of like, we're the little sisters. We're the number 2, number 3. Watch this.
This is the year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is probably the most important year that San Diego Wave has in their entire existence. Just because you're going to be the only show in town in the big stage. If you win a championship this year and go from, hey, we made the semifinals as the first like expansion team in the NWSL in the first season. Oh, we won the Shield in our second year and lost in the semifinals again. You go to the final this year and you win it right before MLS comes to town, like comes around with their state. That's going to speak volumes. Yeah. And this is going to be the most important season yet for San Diego Wave. You already won the Shield. You already made playoffs your first year. This is the year. Going to the championship is not going to cut it. You're going to have to win it. And I think Casey Stoney knows that pressure, and that should be her biggest resolution for this team.
Look, let me paint it to you this way. This incoming year, San Diego Wave has a great team. San Diego Wave is doing good. They're making playoffs. Don't necessarily have to win the Supporter Shield because you already won that. That's fine. But you make it to the championship game. And Alex Morgan says, this is my final season. I'm going to go out on top with a championship. A la Rapinoe. Does not
get injured in the first minute
without touching the ball. Does not end a career with a torn Achilles. And even if she doesn't score, it's fine. But that's a storyline. That's what can really put this team over in that sense, and just lay the groundwork for the next generation of SD Wave teams with Naomi Girma, Jaden Shaw, Barcenas, that next generation of soccer talent that's going to be feeding into the U.S. Women's National Team, which is, again, another juggernaut of fan support, attendance, and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's all wait and see right now. It's all wait and see, and I really hope for the people that we know, the people that we are in contact with, the individuals, the players, that it works out for San Diego Wave at the end of the day, and they have the best and most positive 2024. What else? Is there anything else that SD Wave should be looking at?
For Wave, I mean, it's going to come down to their community work, and it's going to come down to their performance on the field. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, I think they do a great job at their giveaways they do during matches. I
Yeah.
think they do great stuff when it comes to that. Maybe doing a halftime celebrity game. That would be cool. That would be cool.
I mean,
Get
that's
actual,
just
like,
that's just
celebrity game where you bring
that's just
in
being
like
selfish.
no, not even us.
Yeah, no,
not even us. Like
no,
like
oh, like
big
legit,
name-
like
big
oh,
name
like have
people,
let's
like,
again Tony
yeah,
Hawk
Tony
out there.
Hawk coming down and they play a little halftime game or something. I feel like that would be something cool or interesting to do. Fucking do a media game too then if we're being a little selfish.
Yeah,
Why
no, let's
not?
be a little selfish. All right, so let's see anybody else.
Like Procrastinating Puma kind of mentions the soccer too, right, earlier, but yeah, share this one. Go ahead.
Hey Glenn, how are you? I don't think you should have to work on a holiday. That's how dedicated we are. I was at Yosemite for a week and we still did not break our streak for 204 consecutive weeks of programming. And a stinking little New Year's
We
is
make it
not
work out here. We make
is
it work.
not gonna stop that.
Honestly, the holidays more the Eve. I think as Mexicans, the Eves are the
Yeah,
more
no,
the
we love
holidays.
Eves. And Adams are cool, but Eves.
Stupid.
You like that?
It says, sorry, Soccers. I wish more people care about the work you guys have put in, but we await the wave. And it just goes with indoor versus outdoor soccer.
Resolution for the San Diego Sockers: win a championship. And Craig Childs, you're 1 point away from 400 points, and you guys are doing great. Check out the San Diego Sockers games. Again, I am employed by them, but at the end of the day, it's a really good time. It's just fun. You get a free Legoland child admission ticket if they do well. I'll just leave that out there because go find out how much it takes for them to get there. If they score a certain amount of goals, it might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 7. You get free cookies at the Cravery cookies, which I hear are pretty good. But at the end of the day, San Diego Sockers is always there, will always be there. And this is last season.
It's their last season here in San Diego, going to Oceanside.
Yep. And
still San Diego, I guess.
And they will do us celebrity halftime soccer match. Something that you and I have been involved with the last 3 years.
Ooh,
This will be the third year.
This will be the third year.
This will be the third year. But it's it's honestly a great time. You like having it. It's honestly a great time that we have out there, and it's really cool that they allow us to even be out there. I've played and I've won twice. What about you, Chiva?
Lost twice.
You've lost twice. Whoa.
Honestly, the second one, we scored at the end and they lost.
You did not score at the end.
We did score at the
You
end.
did
and they
not
robbed us.
score
That's fine.
at the
That's
end.
fine. That's what I expect from the San Diego Soccer's referees and MSL referees. It's complete robbery of us over in the American side of the team.
Yeah. Okay. So last year it was the U.S. versus Mexico, a showdown, half and half, for I guess supremacy, dominance, and Mexico won. Team Mexico won. I can't believe.
Hey, when are they announcing rosters?
We are actually announcing rosters tomorrow at Soccer's Overtime at 5 p.m. on Twitch.com. Check it out. And it was twitch.com/San Diego Sockers.
So you already know who's in the team?
I know who's in the teams already.
Okay. Hey, wait. Okay. This is non-soccer. You're not employed through them right now.
I am.
Yeah.
I still am.
Mi equipo. Vale madre. Está chingón.
You'll be fine.
Damn it,
Look at this. Oh, you almost scored. You almost scored. And that's your goal. That's your only goal. You don't care if you win. You don't care if you lose.
About that.
You just want to score on me. And let me tell you, Chiva, for the third year
I will
in a row, you will not.
You know why I will?
A goal. Why?
Because you're going to be commentating the first half.
Yeah.
You're not going to get those little 20 minutes of warm up that you require. You're going to suck this game. You're not going to get to warm up. Even if it's an 8-minute game, your freaking huge ass body needs to warm up. You're going to get hurt if you don't. You're not going to be. You're not going to be. You're not going to be. the sharpest that you can be. And you're going to stuck in this halftime game, and you're going to blame it. You're going to blame it on that. You're going to blame it on. Oh man, I couldn't warm up. I had to work.
Look at how happy you guys were when you guys thought you scored.
I had to think of what I was going to do after. I have to go change and this and that, and you're going to put excuses as to why I'm going to score on you or even lose.
Look how happy
you guys dropped us. We scored on the buzzer.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
You didn't
Yes,
score.
we did.
Let's get some audio in here of your disappointment.
Mamadas, güey. Nos robaron. Like, wait, denos la chance, güey. Like, del gol. Scored there. We scored on the buzzer.
The buzzer sounded. The buzzer sounded.
We scored on the buzzer and we got robbed, man. Definitely check that out next Sunday at 5 p.m. That's when the soccer game starts. Halftime game will be around 6:05 p.m. A complete robbery. This is a redemption. Is Cabana Boy Jeff in my team?
I can't reveal that. You're gonna have to tune into the Soccer's Overtime at 5 p.m. on twitch.tv/Soccers. Guess what? You can always find it after on YouTube or on your favorite audio platform. But I will tell you this.
Is it celebrity or media?
Celebrity. But that's what the name was. Like they wanted it to be celebrity media, but they just said celebrity. Okay. That doesn't mean that there's going to be more celebrities than media. It's just the way it's it's spoken.
Okay.
The one thing that I will tell you is that it is confirmed. We are on opposite teams.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I figured that. Is there like big name celebrities, Jordan?
Look, big name celebrities is up to you. It's up to you what your interpretation of big name celebrity is.
Is Johnny Richardson invited?
But what I will say is that it will be an absolute blast out there, and I do think that if you're not there, you're missing out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Don't miss out on the.
You're not going to score on me.
Yes, I am, dude.
What do you want to bet?
I'm not betting you shit.
Because you know you're not going to score.
I'm going to score on you.
Because you're not going to score.
Just know that I will score on you.
That's what you said the last two times, and guess what happened?
And I'm doing something different this year. I'm not betting. The last 2 years I betted something. I'm not betting this year, and it's going to happen. I ate my 12 grapes, and that was one of my fucking wishes.
You ate your 12.